The old keys felt unnaturally cold in Liam's hand, a stark contrast to the humid summer air that clung to him like a second skin. Before him, Blackwood Manor loomed against the bruised twilight sky, a skeletal silhouette of Gothic spires and jagged broken windows. It was his inheritance, a final cryptic gift from a great aunt he'd never met. The will had called it an opportunity. Standing before the gnarled iron gates, with the scent of decay heavy in the air, Liam felt it was more like a sentence. He pushed the largest key into the lock of the heavy oak door. The sound of the tumblers turning echoed with a groan, like a beast disturbed from a long slumber, as the door swung inward to reveal a gaping maw of darkness. He hesitated for a moment, the rational part of his brain screaming at him to turn back. But a deeper, more reckless curiosity pulled him forward, over the threshold and into the waiting gloom of his new home. Inside, the air was thick and stale, tasting of dust and forgotten time. Liam switched on his flashlight, its beam a solitary spear of light, slicing through the oppressive darkness. The light danced over furniture shrouded in white cloths, resembling a congregation of silent, misshapen ghosts. Cobwebs, thick as cotton candy, draped from a grand chandelier, and the once polished marble floor was a mosaic of grime and fallen plaster. His footsteps were the only sound, each one a dull thud that seemed to be swallowed by the cavernous silence of the hall. He moved deeper, drawn by an invisible current, his light tracing the peeling wallpaper and the sightless eyes of portraits lining the corridor. Every shadow seemed to writhe at the edge of his vision, and the profound quiet was a weight on his ears, a silence so deep it felt loud, expectant. He felt like an intruder, a trespasser in a place that had long forgotten the living. He was examining a decaying grand piano when the sound ripped through the silence. A deafening slam echoed from behind him, a percussive shock that made his heart leap into his throat. He spun around, his flashlight beam wildly cutting through the air, only to find the great oak door firmly shut. Darkness, absolute and suffocating, instantly consumed him as his flashlight flickered and died. Panic, cold and sharp, pierced through his initial shock. He fumbled with the useless flashlight, his breath coming in ragged gasps. He was trapped. The silence that returned was different now, heavier, charged with a malevolent presence that he could feel pressing in on him from all sides. He was no longer just an explorer. He was prey, caught in a cage not of his own making, and the unsettling feeling of being watched intensified with every passing second. Groping blindly along the wall, his hands brushing against the cold, damp stone, Liam stumbled through a doorway he hadn't noticed before. The air in this room was different, colder, and carried a faint, cloying scent of lavender and decay. He managed to get his flashlight working again, its weak beam revealing a child's nursery. A rocking horse stood frozen mid-gallop, and a single, grime-covered doll sat propped against a small empty crib. It was then that he saw her, standing by the window, bathed in the faint moonlight that filtered through the grimy glass, was a figure in a long, white gown. The lady in white. Her back was to him, her form ethereal and shimmering. As if sensing his presence, she began to turn, her movements slow and unnaturally fluid. Her face, when it came into view, was a pale, gaunt mask of sorrow that twisted into an expression of pure, soundless agony. Her mouth opened wide, a silent scream that tore through the quiet and echoed directly in Liam's soul. Primal terror seized him, overriding all thought. He didn't scream. The sound was trapped in his lungs. He just ran. He scrambled back into the hallway, his legs pumping with adrenaline-fueled desperation, stumbling over unseen debris in the dark. He didn't care where he was going, only that it was away from that room, away from that silent, horrifying visage. His hands found the front door, and he fumbled frantically with the heavy iron latch. It felt impossibly stiff, resisting his panicked efforts, but with a final desperate shove, the door burst open. Liam fell through the doorway, tumbling down the stone steps and collapsing onto the damp, overgrown lawn. He lay there, gasping for air, the wet grass cool against his face. He didn't get up. He didn't dare look back at the house, at the dark windows that now seemed like hollow eyes watching him. He had his inheritance, a legacy of fear that would forever be etched into his memory.
Captain's log, stardate 77814.1, the research vessel. Odyssey battles a Category 4 typhoon on the surface, but down here a different kind of storm is brewing in my gut. We're currently descending into the Mariana Trench, chasing a series of anomalous energy readings we detected last week. The crew is on edge. The pressure is mounting, both literally and figuratively. The submersible, Triton, is performing within nominal parameters, but the data flooding our screens makes no sense. It's not geological, not biological, it's something else. Every meter we descend, the feeling of dread intensifies. It feels less like an exploration and more like a trespass. The view outside the reinforced quartz viewport is a perfect, impenetrable black. Our external lights cut through the abyss, but the beams seem to be swallowed just a few meters out, absorbed by the crushing darkness. We've passed 10,000 meters. Life at this depth shouldn't exist, yet we're beginning to see it. Bizarre, phosphorescent flora cling to volcanic vents, pulsing with an eerie, cold blue light. They sway in unison, not with any discernible current, but as if responding to a silent, rhythmic hum that's now faintly audible through the hull. The anomalous signal we've been tracking is spiking, its frequency shifting into a complex, repeating pattern. It's not a natural phenomenon. It feels structured, almost like a language. Our mission was to observe and record, but the data is starting to feel like a lure. Suddenly the lights flicker. The hum intensifies into a low, guttural vibration that shakes the entire submersible. From the edge of our light's reach, something vast and dark eclipses the glowing seabed. It's colossal, a silhouette of impossible geometry and writhing appendages. Dozens of self-luminous, milky white eyes open in the blackness, each one the size of our viewport, fixing upon us with cold, ancient intelligence. The abyssal horror, for what else could it be, drifts closer, its immense form displacing the water with a terrifying silence. One of its tendrils, a mess of barbs and what look like suction cups, extends slowly and taps against the viewport. A high-pitched screech echoes through the hull, and then, with horrifying speed, it strikes. A spiderweb of cracks erupts across the quartz, and the shriek of stressed metal fills the cabin. Alarms blare. The pressure is dropping. The hull is compromised. This is Chief Science Officer Eva Rostova, final log entry for the Triton. The signal, it wasn't a discovery. It was a welcome. May God have mercy on our... Static crackles loudly, followed by a deafening groan of metal being crushed and a final sharp snap. The screen cuts to a monitor on the Odyssey's bridge, displaying a single stark message: signal lost.